back to the podcast.
What's going on?
Good to see you guys.
How are you guys doing? Let us know in the comments.
Y'all got your own pencil?
Yes, we got that when we got married. Oh my gosh, look at the date. Yeah, we had gift because we had.
That was the
little
book you
notes
signed
for
with.
People to sign and
I meant
leave
the
us
pen you signed
messages,
with.
and so they use these pens.
I'm gonna have to take that idea down.
Yep, and so we got a whole box left. It's still inside.
Well, I don't want one of y'all pencils. I'm gonna want to make my own.
You can't have one of ours. The giving season is left. The rest is for us.
What are you gonna do with all those pencils?
Huh?
Right.
Keep writing and keep it. See how long it lasts. The whole box that we got, it might last. I almost said it might last as long as we're married. It's gonna last forever. Okay. I digress. Anyway, guys, so we are back and we are still in the
January.
mode in January, so we're still in mode of
New
goals,
Year.
setting our foundation for the year and so on and so forth. So we got a few questions about our family goals, so we wanted to take this episode to answer those questions and, you know, talk you guys through
Just to
it.
show y'all that we actually do answer you guys' questions, so you shouldn't be afraid to leave some
Yeah.
comments and questions in the bottom.
That part.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Or inboxes like these
That
folks
way.
do. If you don't feel comfortable commenting so everybody can see, feel free to go
DM
over
us.
to Instagram us, go to Facebook, send us a message, and yeah, we're gonna answer your questions.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question is, so these questions came in random order, and I tried to put them in order so we can answer them. And the first one was, how do you introduce the idea of family goals to your family? And I don't know if this was the dad or the son or
The sister or the mom.
whoever, but it just says, how do you introduce family? How do you introduce the family concept or the concept of family goals to your family?
That's a
So
good question.
If I am the parent, I would say, sit down, you got to do.
Y'all
It's
see
my
how
house.
That will
and
work.
I'm the boss, and I say we do. No, I'm just playing. So, okay, guys. So what is your
Okay.
What are your ideas? How do you think you introduce it? If you're in a family, or if one of our viewers are looking, and they don't have family goals, how should they go about implementing family goals with their family?
Dan, you want to take it away?
I
Yeah,
feel
you
like-
got something to say?
I don't know, but I mean, I know, but I feel like this is gonna be more than what you asking for. But in my family, I would start it out like this. First, I would get them together and I would introduce the ideal of FCT to them. I would introduce the
Family
idea
connection time.
family connection time. I would introduce that family meeting, gathering up, talking about, learning about, getting deeper with each other first, just to build that connection that we have a bond, and we care about where each of us are going, right? And we care about what we're going through. And once you establish your FCT, your family connection time, then you guys will start realizing that some of the things you're more like-minded than you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
And once you find your similar like-mindedness, then it's gonna be easier for you to formulate goals. You can then see something that all of you guys are aspiring for, or something close that all you guys are aspiring for, and be like, all right, cool. Well, this year, let's start off simple. Let's make one goal, and it's something that all you guys like. It's like a hobby for all of you guys, or it's like a thing that all y'all like doing. And then as you go and y'all start working on those things together, you will want to do more stuff together. You'll want to have more goals together, and I think that's how I would do it.
Yeah, I'd say, just start small. Don't just expect everybody to just automatically come in and embrace it. I'd say for me, I would like go somewhere where everyone kind of would have fun, like go out to eat or something, and just to show them that family bonding doesn't have to be all seriousness. There is fun to it, and kind of just bring them in, start molding their brains kind of to getting used to spending time with the family. Yeah.
Yes, that's good. good.
Yeah, I like Daniel's way of doing it because in order to make a family goal, it takes some element of like togetherness, basically.
Yeah.
You'll have to be on one page for the most part. And the best way to do that is to have these meetings so that you are on one page and that you guys can all see that, like what you said, that you do have things in common. And going off of that thread, I think a good way to introduce that is to find an area in the family that is kind of lacking, for lack of a better word. But like, if you want to get closer together, make it a goal as a family to do an event that will bring you guys closer together. Like
Yeah.
volunteering. Like one of our goals was to volunteer at a shelter together. Something you're all putting your hands towards and working together as a family. Yes.
I would say, well, for me, first of all, I would say to just explain to them or like get sit them down like he said, or with the meeting or whatever, and then just explain to them why you feel like it's important first, and why you think why it's important to you,
That's
and
good.
why it should be important to everybody as well, and of course introduce them to the benefits, and then
Bigger
like you
picture.
said, from that you can like he said, see your common goals and common interests, and bring up how everybody has common interests, because everybody's probably not thinking like that off the bat. So
Yeah.
just bring that up, and then from there just work into it, like Jada said as well. Don't rush into it too hard, thinking you just or make it like it's like
It took some time
like
for
it has to
mommy
be
to
like
get
a
us.
job or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make it fun and try to get everybody to see it from all angles. However, you have to communicate to that person for them to understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really good. I think one of the things that I would say is definitely pray about it, because God didn't
key.
create, God created family to be close knit, to support each other, and to uplift and build each other. So I say go to God, because He's the creator of this whole thing. He's gonna give you the insight as to how to go about it. And once He gives us insight, it's always the best. It's always the best idea. So I would say
Yeah.
first pray about it, and then you already know your family, like Jonathan said, and you know sometimes the same way I approach Jasmine might be different from how I approach Jada, might be different from how I approach Jonathan and Danielle. And so approach each other individually and get a feel for if it is something that they're interested in, or speak to their own personal desires. What does this person like? What does that person like? And see how it can come together. Does that make sense? Okay, so talk to each of them on their own level. Normally everyone have their own interests, and if you can get them to buy into what you're doing based on their individual interests, that would be good. Hopefully that's not too deep.
Speak to their personalities. You know how that somebody in your family is going to receive something, so
Yeah.
talk to them in the way that they would receive it, and then you can bring them all together, and then they all come in thinking the same thing, so it'll be easier for that idea to mesh. Boom. Now, I wanted to say one thing.
I did, but okay, go ahead and say it.
I just wanted to put some clarity on the goals word. Your family goal when starting out doesn't have to look like a goal. It could be y'all getting together and cooking dinner. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Go
It
ahead.
could be y'all just cooking dinner together once a week, or eating dinner together once a week, or going to the movies once a month, or something like that. The goal could look like something entertaining to get everybody to buy into it.
And because once you start spending time together doing things and having fun, you're going to want more, and it's going to be interesting to see what you can accomplish together as a family. You're already, if you do anything together as a family, if you watch movies, if you have taco nights, if you go to church together, if you go to the supermarket together, if you wash dishes together, if you do laundry on the same day, if you really look at your family, you're already doing something together as a family. Setting goals is just being strategic and intentional about the things that you're doing together. But the things that you're already doing together, find a way to magnify or get everything out of what you're doing. So if you guys do movie night, instead of just going right into movie night, make it your personal goal. If you're a parent, make it your personal goal. Well, let's have a conversation before we do movie night. Or let's just find different creative ways of getting them to do things together without them even knowing that they're doing things together. And if you're a child asking this question, just tell your parents that you want to spend time together with everybody. Every parent want to hear that their child want to spend time together. And so you don't have to start it out like they've said before as, okay, this is our family, this is what we're going to do. That's not how it started for us. We started out by just having fun, meeting, doing things together, and then it morphed and it changed into this whole thing of, hey, we can accomplish a lot as a family. So take it easy. Remove the stress or the idea, or don't even try to look at us and say, I want to do it like them. No, try to see what works for your family, and then it's gonna take on its own form and it's gonna take on its own life from there.
This was one of our family goals.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Trying to get families closer together and try and spread the gospel,
Yeah.
spread the love of God out here on these podcasts. This is one of our goals. And then from this goal, me and Jasmine had a goal
Yeah.
to speak to young believers. So your
works.
goals, what God said, go forth and multiply and populate the earth. As your goals go out, as you send your goal out, they go and then they multiply, and then your goals add up and they add up and then they go out.
multiply.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Take two. So question number 2. Oh my gosh, y'all.
Did you delete them?
No, I did something. Okay, here we go.
Oh.
So the next question was, what was the process of coming up with family goals? How did you come up with your family goals together? So it kind of plays into a little bit of what we've been saying. And I'm going to give just a little bit of background. I think to some degree we are family oriented and we like each other's company. So we like spending time together. So to some degree, we've always spent time together, whether it's going on vacation, whether it's driving in the car, we've always spent time together. And over the years, as I've watched my children grow, I realized that to some degree, living in America, things could take on its own form, and then we could be completely separated from each other. Because I don't want to mention the unpopular opinion. I'm from the islands, and families in the islands, we are very intentional about spending time together. And sometimes life can become so busy here in America that everyone is going their own separate ways. And as the kids started to go to work and doing other things, I find that we were coming and going at different times in different spaces. And sometimes we may see each other, but we might see each other in passing in the kitchen, grabbing a sandwich, grabbing for fruits, eating dinner. And like Jasmine and I will have a really good conversation, but it'd just be her and I. Jada and I may have a conversation, Daniel and I, Jonathan and I, and so life is happening. And so I said, we have to be intentional about all of us connecting because we're all going through things. And if we want to support each other through those things, we all have to know. So that is how, to some degree, we kind of start labeling our FCT time, making sure that we make it happen. And then from then, like Daniel said, it created, okay, what else can we do? We meet together, we spend all this time. And then they had stuff that their friends and other people were experiencing, and they will always leverage our opinions. So we were like, maybe we need to make this official, more or less. And to some degree, that's how I think it came about. How it came about in your heads?
Our goals are our family meetings.
Did I go off script? Well, it said, what was the process of coming up with your family goals? And how do you come up?
Well, you answered it, though.
Yeah, to some degree. And then the goals came from us wanting to do more.
Yeah, I think, a lot of our goals, we added on more goals as we got deeper into it. But from the start, I think, because we all do different things, but regardless of what we do, there's always there's always there's always those strengths or those things that you need to have, regardless of what thing you're trying to achieve or what field you're trying to go into or what side business you're trying to start or whatever. It's always the same few things, a group of things that everybody needs to have. So I think that's how it started, and then it just started building on top from that too. That's how I seen it as well.
Yes, I think one of the major ways we came.
And also, sorry to cut you off. And also because we're also very, I don't want to say religious. We're very God fearing. We're very we're God fearing people. We're God oriented. We have a very spiritual life over here, and so that's also how our goals came about too. Just trying to get closer to God and trying to bring the family closer to God.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
Solid.
Go ahead.
I'm confused now
What?
because
It just said to us. It's
no,
a.
I understand what you were saying. You didn't confuse me.
Oh.
Mommy, the way Mommy said her explanation was kind of like, how did we come up with FCT instead of how do we come up with goals?
Yes, I did. My
But-
bad. But it because
The goals, I feel like our family goal was to have FCT.
Yeah.
Because we seen that we
Yeah.
were just starting to get busy
Yes.
and busy.
Yes.
So we came up with our family goals because we seen that we were starting to lack each other. I went out to the military. They all were getting their lives situated, and it just wasn't something that we were willing to part with.
Right.
So I feel like that's how we came up with our goals, because we didn't want to see us run away from each other.
Yeah, and
That's
I took that question as like a literal sense. Like when we were sitting down together, how did we get to the point where we listed out all our goals and stuff? Like, what was the brainstorming process? If that makes sense.
okay. Well, how do we do that?
I can't even remember.
So we can't. I
wait.
think-
So we already had, like Daniel said, we already had FCT.
Yes.
That was a goal from last year, right? That was on the
No, that was more than last year. Like we were doing it together
But, like, last-
before we actually name it. and
Yeah,
start
last year. That's what I
calling it
meant. Last year
something.
is when we actually wrote it down on the
Yeah.
vision board and stuff. And as we started to meet together more, like Jonathan said and Daniel said, we realized we wanted to be together more. So we wanted to be intentional about our goals and really focusing our goals around how we can spend more time as a family together.
So the keyword is just intentionality. We were just intentional with what we were doing, basically.
Yeah.
Intentionality?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a word?
Yeah, unlike the word you used last podcast.
What was that?
What was it? Stagnicity. Stagnicity.
Yeah. I can't believe you remember that.
I was editing the video, so I remember.
Yeah, so I think that's how it came. Once again, for more or less, it came together because we spend a lot of time together, and then we start wanting that time to be meaningful, and we start wanting
Intentional.
To feel like we're achieving things. So even as we support each other in our personal goals, we start making goals together as a family.
Yeah.
The thought process, how it actually works out is we come together, we think about some things that we want to do together as a family. One of the most important things is praying together as a family for at least one day per week. And so we make that happen. That was important to us. Like Jonathan said, we're very God-fearing people. So that was a big thing for us. And then we just brainstormed and thought about a few things that we each would like to do. Everybody brought something to the table, and then we saw what worked, what didn't work, and then
Yeah.
we just come together and agree, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it. So that's how you can do it with your family. Get some ideas, ask them to get some ideas, come together, talk on it, mull it over, see if you like it, if it works. Once again, it doesn't
Agree,
have to be 10, it
disagree.
can be 2, and just start from there.
I think, and I just want to add on a little bit more. I didn't mean to ask you if you had a question. I meant to ask you if you had
If I have
something
something to say, I know.
You do?
No, I don't.
Okay. No, I think another way that we started having taking our, because when we was in our FCT, we would emphasize on our personal goals and try to help each other with our personal goals. But another way we became or came to having family goals, and here I go making noise. To have having family goals is some of our goals were alike. Some of our goals were very close in similarity. So instead of us doing
By ourselves.
5 different things, we decided we could just do it
Oh.
as one. And that's how we decided. That's how another way we came into having family goals, because we were all doing one of our goals just together.
Yep. That's the gist of it.
So that's kind of what I said.
But
Remember I said
Yeah, you
The
did.
common goals,
we
yeah.
all we all are doing our own things,
Similar.
but we all have certain things that we have to have regardless of where we're going.
oh,
So it's kind of like that. Like,
well, y'all got to hear it again.
but yeah, you put it in a different way. You
different
put it
spe-
more
from a different
specific,
angle, yeah.
specified.
Okay.
Okay, moving right on to the next question. What if you disagree or don't like the family goals set by the family?
You sit at the table mad all day.
No.
I mean, why don't you? You gotta get down to the bottom of just like why you don't like it first of all, and then talk about that maybe, and then I don't know. It's so many answers that can go about
Yeah,
this.
I think
Like,
the one of the main thing is when you're making your family goals, or if your parents decide to make the goals and you have to follow the goals, think of it as not just you. You know, a family is a unit, it's a group, you know, and sometimes one person have to sacrifice for the benefit of the group, for
Yeah.
everyone, right? So you may not like that individual goal, but if the majority likes it, then it is something that you can take
Support.
on and support, and then maybe next time around you'll get what you want and they'll have to support you. But you sow that seed of being supportive, and once you sow that seed of being supportive, you can reap of his harvest later on. You know, it's never about one person. But going back a little bit further than that, the idea of the family goal is that everyone would, to some degree, agree on what the goals are. So hopefully, you know, if you make your points known to your parents or your family as to why you don't support the goal, and the points are minute and they decide to go ahead with it, then you just take it on the chin because you don't have a valid, strong point. And that is something that you have to learn as part of building your character, that sometimes the plan is not going to pause based for minute reasons. You know, you got to have a valid, strong reason. So are you disagreeing with the goal just to be obnoxious? Are you disagreeing with it because it's not your idea? Are you disagreeing with it because you're just trying to be difficult? Find out your why. Why don't I like it? Am I just being miserable? Am I just being counterproductive? Why don't I like it? And if it's any of those reasons, check yourself, check your heart, and then get on board. But if it's a major reason, you express that major reason to your family. You said, hey, this is the reason why I don't like this, and I am going to give your family the benefit of the doubt in saying, if it's something major that really hurts you, or something major that you just can't get with, that they would consider that and not force you to do, to do that. They'll choose something else. But the idea of the family goal is to build community and build bonds. So it should be things that you guys can rally around the same cause.
Yeah. And also remember, first, I gotta stop sitting next to you.
Why?
Because I feel like you be stealing my ideas.
What?
But remember, as we
Photosynthesizing
go
the
through
ideas.
these goals, you're starting small and you're working your way up, right? So the first goal or the first couple goals shouldn't be something that can cause a big rift, that
Yes.
can cause a big falling out because
Right.
it doesn't agree with one of the people in the family. Your first couple goals should be something that is just like a bonding goal. It's just something that brings you guys together to show and prove to you guys that you can build something together or you can accomplish something together.
And I will also say that family goals also, well, they help me with compromise, working on compromise, because there have been a lot of things that I suggested that got turned down, and I was very upset about that. But you gotta learn how to compromise. You're not the only one in your family. There's 5 other people in your family sometimes, and they're not all gonna think like how you think, and you have to learn how to.
And sometimes you
Go
might
with
even
the
end
flow
up
with it.
liking it.
Yeah, sometimes the more you do it and the more time you spend time doing it, it grows on you and you like it.
Yeah, like this. No,
No, you aren't.
No, but that's a good point. You know, it teaches you something. Everything is gonna go to building character.
Yeah, life is about the uncomfortable things sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the uncomfortable. You stay in a comfortable little box. You just stay in your comfortable little box, and you don't see nothing. You don't grow. You might feel comfortable, but you're just harming yourself, really. But it's about being uncomfortable, doing the things that you feel like you can't do to prove yourself you can do it, and just things like that. That's how I feel.
And as a child in the family, that's good for you.
Yes.
You feel me? You finna be out here one of these days with your own family. You finna be out here one of these days by yourself working for somebody at a company, and they're gonna be coming down. Your supervisor gonna come at you, or one of your college professors gonna come at you with a set of ideas and a set of plans that you gotta carry out. And if you've always used to pushing back, I don't like it, we're not gonna do that, then it's gonna be real hard for you out here for real.
Yeah, you set yourself up for failure because I was gonna say there's no guarantee, but I'm gonna say there's no possibility of you going through life without having to compromise for a bigger cause, whether it be at work, whether it be at your family, you know. So you wanna practice the idea of being able to be a team player, because at some point in your life, team playing becomes important, and that's why you have a family, so you can learn and sharpen these skills. So when you go out there, it's already something that you've practiced, you know. And
Yeah,
you
it's not
already
brand
know
new.
That is not every time is your turn. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to rally around a cause, because not every cause that people rally around that you suggest, believe it or not every time they like it, but sometimes they do it for the
Because they
bigger
love you.
cause and because they love you. So think about that. The last question is,
That's one.
huh?
Sorry.
The last question is, what do you, what do you do when you feel like the family goal is losing its momentum, or how can you keep everyone motivated by the family goal, I guess, to something. Well, it's 2 weeks into January, so hopefully the family goals are not
If it did, you came up with something too big.
already.
If the family goes losing momentum already, it's the 20th. What is one of the days? That might have been one of the goals y'all should have disagreed on. Nah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I guess I'll start off. Checkpoints. Checkpoints just came to me. I feel like in every goal, it should be stages to that goal.
Yeah.
Well, in most goals, there should be stages to that goal.
To break
Because
it
what
up.
is this goal working towards? It's just like, I don't know what it's just like, but let's just, it's just building blocks, right? Your goal should have building blocks, and when you get to this certain area, everybody checks back in. But that's another thing you can bounce off of FCT. What you come together as a family once a week or a couple times a month, and you check in with each other. You see what progress you guys are making, and I just stole that. Thank you. But yeah, man, it's all about building on each other, and then once you realize that like you have the support from everybody else, when you do lose that momentum, it's just that's when you got to really come to yourself, and that's when you build character for yourself. You got to keep pushing. If it seems like it's not going how you want it to go, all right, well then you just do what you got to do for this day, and that's it.
Found a good analogy.
When tomorrow come, you do what you got to do for that day. Just one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. But at the end of the day, you gonna achieve your goal, or at the end of the day, you all are working towards a common denominator.
Yeah,
Yes.
and keep prayer. I just want to interject. Keep prayer in the midst of it. That God
Mm-hmm.
will keep you. God
Yeah.
will give you capacity to
That's the
keep
most important one.
fuel in the goal, to keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
And if you lose momentum, just shift gears, pivot, recalibrate. Those are all parts of your plan, you know. Nothing keeps the same steam or the same speed continuously. Things slow down, things pick up steam. There's times when things go fast, sometimes they go slow. But what you have to learn is endurance through the good time, the slow times, the
Discipline.
fast times. build that discipline of endurance and sticking with something regardless of how it feels
Yeah.
or how fast it's going. Or
I heard
how,
some. I heard somebody say.
building endurance.
I heard somebody say something about if you just do things when you feel motivated, you won't always get that far. But if you build a discipline to always do something or do a certain amount of something or do it every day, regardless of how you feel, then on the motivated days it's easy, and even on unmotivated days you have that discipline to just still do it.
Yep.
And then I found your analogy, like for me it helps me, like it's like a book, like the goal is the book, and then the stages is like, okay, the chapter 1, get into end of chapter 1, okay, that's a stage, you did that, get into chapter 2, breaking it up like you said.
Yeah.
So not just all trying to just do the whole thing in one.
Yeah, and no. You're not saying anything yet. No, I waited through three people. Compromise, inaction, compromising in action.
You don't quit driving when you hit rush hour traffic.
Ooh,
That's it.
Oh, that's it?
yes, that's good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
at work, at my job, we have these leadership trainings, right? And this guy, his name is Ty. I can't remember his name, but not Ty Tribbett. I wish, but he basically tells leaders how to keep people motivated when they're training people and stuff. And we were in this book on effective ways to train people, basically, and it has 4 different rules, I want to say, and it is different trumps same, listening trumps talking, writing trumps reading, and shorter trumps longer.
Can you say the first one again?
Different trumps same.
Different from same.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you want to apply those to your family goals and stuff like that, different trumps same. Like instead of just
Different
do some.
Instead of same. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, you try something different. Like maybe y'all, instead of meeting at the house, you meet at a restaurant, like Jada was saying. Listening trumps talking. If instead of one person always talking, you go around the circle and ask, why is this goal important to you? What have you been doing to contribute towards this goal and stuff? How are you doing and stuff like that? Getting them to talk instead of just listening all the time. They'll be more engaged and they'll be more inclined to think about it. And then writing trumps reading. Like maybe you go around and you have people write,
Mix it up.
this is like one thing I wrote. This is one thing I did this week that goes along with our family goal or something like that. And then shorter trumps longer. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, debrief. Like, how was your day? What did you do this week? What is something you want to do next week? And how are you going to apply it to our family goal? Something like that. Not too long, because I think they said a person can sit 10 minutes max, and then after that they start losing concentration. So if you want to apply any of those to your family goals, those are all good ways to keep people motivated and engaged.
I say, I agree with what everyone is saying. For me, I feel like that's the importance of having different goals, because when you start feeling a little bit unmotivated, you look at the other goals and you see how far along you got with one, and then don't just linger on one. And then that's also another reason why FCT, Family Connection Time, is so important, because you can come to your family and be like, hey, I don't really feel like too much is going on right now, or just tell them how you feel, and then you have a bunch of people who can rally around you and give you
Encourage
the confidence and encouragement. Yeah.
And that's also, and I know we ain't did this episode yet, so don't shoot me down. But that's also why you have your family vision board, so that if you have to double back to a vision or to a goal, it's already written down, so you know
You
when
have
it's,
something to
when
look
it's
at.
accomplished and when you're not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. all that is good things. And remember that the vision, like Daniel says, is for a set time. And even though the Bible says Habakkuk, I don't know, I could never say that. Anyway, the Bible says even though it may tarry, meaning even though it may take a while, it's going to come. So once again, praying for endurance so that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve. Nothing happens overnight, and anything that is good takes time to work, to cultivate, to build. And that's the reason why the Bible always, or God always liken or compare things to a farmer that sows a seed, and then there's time before the harvest comes, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to think about the things that you're putting your hands to do, or the things that you're doing with your family, that you're not always going to see the harvest or the reward, and that every day is going to be a happy day, you know. Life are full with happy moments, and then there's a few peaks, there's a few happy moments, birthdays, anniversaries, celebrations, but not every day is a party. You know, not every day is gonna feel you're gonna be
Bland days. Me and my
okay,
Dukes episode.
Life is full with more bland days than it is with excitement. So you have to develop the skill or the art of mastering the bland days, learning how to self-motivate yourself so that you can stick to something and you're not always leaning on your feelings. What if we lose momentum? What if we think... And it's not a bad question. It's a very good question. But
Made you
on
think.
the heel of that is there's something that is being birthed in you and seeing it through even when the momentum slows down. Like Daniel says, you don't give up on getting home or getting to work or getting to the store or getting to the job or getting to wherever you're going because the traffic builds up and the speed is not the same. You just coast through those slow moments and then you pick back up.
We also did a whole episode on the bland days.
I'm gonna link the card up there.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Watch it after you watch this
That's
one
a
though.
good one to tag. We did an episode on blind days. So yeah, but that's it. So
give us more
if you have any
questions.
more questions, let us
Please,
know.
please.
Hopefully
We
we
love
get
answering
something
these
from our
questions.
answers.
Hopefully, this gave you the motivation to leave some questions.
Please. No more crickets.
Okay, guys, that's it for this episode. Have a good night.
Peace out.
Bye.